Hello kings and queens, welcome to Ace Designs 107, and today what we have for you guys is a UI design tutorial. Like I said, I'm going to be coming back to the daily uploads, so this is my first video for the daily uploads, and yeah, so I'm going to start recording in advance so I don't miss any uploads, and let's see how that works. So this is what we will be making today for the UI design, and it's actually a pretty cool little thing. I didn't come up with this tutorial. The original tutorial will be in the description below, so if you do get caught in any of my words or anything like that, do go to that tutorial. I managed to follow it, but I decided to make a video tutorial on it just to help out some people. So another thing that I would like to say is, guys, you can download this PSD if you want to learn from it, anything like that. And make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you think on this video, and yeah, let's go straight into it. So, this was my original effort, so I was actually pretty close. I kind of fucked up the lines, but that's my fault, and I'm going to teach you how to not do that again. So guys, for this tutorial, what you are going to need is you are going to need a pattern, these two patterns, and a logo. So a logo can be any logo of your choice, but I'm just using what they used in the tutorial. Also, these two patterns, I'll leave all of the links in the description to download this stuff. And yeah, but before we start, I need to teach you how to define a pattern so we can do the tutorial. So the first step for this tutorial is to open up the pattern. You can either use 2 times or the normal times. I use 2 times in this case for the tutorial. Then I go to edit, define pattern, and then I name the pattern whatever I want, and I press OK, and it will make that pattern. You can do the same for the other one. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to make a new document. So guys, as you can see, this document is actually pretty small. It's only 512 pixels, so that's 512 pixels wide and like long. That's not that big, so if you do want to make it a bigger, go ahead, but I'm just going to go with 512, and I'm going to make the background contents white. I'm also going to change the color profile towards my, what it's called, LCD screen that I'm using, because of it won't look white if I don't, so I have to change it like that, guys, and just everything else like that. So I'm going to press OK. And the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to make a rectangular box. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this and select rounded rectangular tool. And we're going to make the fill a dark grey or a black, it doesn't really matter. And we're just going to click on our document once, and it's going to bring up this little dialog box. And the settings that we are going to make for this is it's going to be 512 by 512. And we are just going to make the radii 14 pixels, 14 pixels, 40 pixels, 40 pixels, and then press OK. So guys, if you are in the new Photoshop, that is how you do it. If you're in the old, it's a bit different, but you'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure you guys are smart like that. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to make another rectangular box. So we're going to press U on a keyboard again and press again, and then make the width 512 by 470. Sorry, I'm really messed up with numbers, like I'm on holidays and I'm not used to it. I'm sorry guys. So we're going to make that color a grey for now. It doesn't really matter, you can always change it later. Whatever you do, guys, do not rasterlize all these layers. You do want to keep them as a shape layer. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to make an ellipse. So we're going to get our ellipse tool, press on our document, and we're going to make it 400 pixels by 390 pixels. We're going to press OK, and we're going to make the fill on this darker than the grey, so we can just see it as invisible. So something like that should be cool, or you know, a little bit darker. Just going to go like come on, let me use my grey. There we go. So like that color I like. Then we're going to get our move tool, and we're going to move it in the middle of the document. Now if you're on the new Photoshop, it'll snap it into the middle. If you want to put it into the middle of that rectangle, all you have to do is control click on that rectangle, the top rectangle, and then press the second and fifth icon, and then it'll put it in the middle of that shape. So that's a really cool thing to know, and that's what they don't say in the tutorial, which is kind of nice. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to press Ctrl J to duplicate this ellipse. So we're going to press Ctrl J on that, and then we're going to press Ctrl T, and we're going to press Alt on our keyboard and then Shift, and then drag out one of the corners, and that's going to resize it in proportion while keeping the shape to the center point. I'm going to press like that. We're going to move this shape on the behind the first shape, and we're going to press U on our keyboard, and we're just going to change the fill of this to like a blue. Now guys, it is important to pick your color scheme that you're going to be using for the rest of the tutorial, so pick a color and just work with that. So I'm going to be using blue in this case. I don't know, it's just a nice little color to use. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to bring in our logo. So how we're going to do this is we're going to open it up. First of all, download this logo. It's PNG, and you're going to delete this text on the bottom. The either way you can do this is press the E on our keyboard and bring our eraser tool and just erase it off, or there's a quick way. Sorry, I've got a sore throat. You can press M on your keyboard, get the rectangular marquee tool, and select around this and just press delete. I'll go grab a drink. Then once you have deleted that text, we're going to press Ctrl D on our keyboard to deselect that selection. Press V to get our move tool, and we're going to move this onto our document like that. Now if you want to resize this, you're going to press Ctrl T and then just drag that down there. So if you have your own logo that you want to work with, that's exactly what you do, and just make sure it's all like that. Now we're going to resize this to a size that we like this. I'm feeling this size is alright, and then I'm going to press Ctrl D, not Ctrl D, I'm going to press Ctrl A. No, we're going to press Ctrl and hit the thumbnail of the small ellipse, and we're going to second and fifth icon with our move tool selected. This is going to center that our logo. Press Ctrl D to deselect that. So the first thing to do in this UI tutorial, as you know, called effects, you could say, is go down to our first rectangular tool, and we're just going to go to the blending options by right clicking on that layer, and we're going to go to pattern overlay, and we're going to pick our pattern that we defined before. So you can either pick from 2 times or 1 times. I'm feeling like 1 times this time around, and we are going to change the opacity down to 60%, and we're going to press OK. Okay, that one's done. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to right click on this and do copy layer style, and we're going to paste this on the first, ellipse. And then on this ellipse, what we are going to do is we are going to go to the blending options, and we are going to go to bevel and emboss and do these settings. So just all you have to do is copy me, guys, with these numbers. So the depth is 126, the direction is up, the size is 9, the soften is 0, the angle is -90, and you guys can edit these however you want, but these are the ones that worked for him and also worked for me at the same time. You want to change the gloss contour to anti-analyze. Make sure you always click these little fine details, don't ignore them, and then go to multiply on the blending mode, highlight mode, make it black on this one, and also change the opacity to 45%, and make the shadow mode to screen, and we're going to change this to like our light blue, like that. I'm going to press OK, and we're also going to make the opacity on this 27. Also, what we are going to do is we are going to go down to our gradient overlay on this shape. So we're going to go down here and right click on our outer ellipse, and we're going to go to the blending options, go to gradient overlay, and this is how we made that gradient that you saw in that spinning. We're going to click on the first color, make this our blue, and click on the second color and make this our black. We're going to press OK on that. We're going to go to the style and we're going to do angle. Make sure the angle is set to 90 degrees. And we're also going to go to the inner shadow and we're going to do these settings, guys. So we're going to do 47 for the opacity, the blending mode normal, the distance is going to be 5, the angle is going to be 90, and the size is also going to be 8. Now we're going to tick anti-aliasation, and we're also going to go down to our drop shadow and do these settings along. So we're going to do opacity is 100, the distance is going to be 4, the size is going to be 1, and we're also going to tick on anti-aliasing. Now guys, if you do not like the shadow that is being made here, we can also edit these, so there's no problem like this. So if you want to edit this shadow that you don't like that's happening here, I think that is on our... So it's on this one. So all you have to do is go down to here and change the opacity and do stuff like that. You can also change the size. So what I would probably recommend is like 10 on this, and then like a soften, like a 3 on that, and then the depth, you might do like there. And you can also like change all these settings. It's all customizable and to what you like. That's what I like a bit more. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to change the drop shadow color. So we're going to go to our drop shadow back on our this layer, and we're going to make a light blue. Press OK on that, and it's really lighter, something like this. And we're going to change the multiply to normal, and then we get that nice ring like that. Now make sure you pick a correct blue, because I'm just trying to experiment here, guys. I'm not prepared. I did prepare myself quite a lot for this tutorial, so if you guys ever think, oh, like, you should be more prepared, no, I've prepared myself. So we're going to go to our logo layer now, and we're going to press Ctrl J, and what we're going to do is we're going to change the levels on this one. So we're going to press Ctrl L on our keyboard, and we're going to do these settings. These settings are literally the best for this type of logo. If you have a different one, obviously go whatever settings you want to by just moving these sliders, but these are the best ones that I have found worked. So we're going to press OK on that, and then we're going to go down to our top layer that we have duplicated, and we're going to go to the blending options and then go to color overlay, and we can change this color to whatever we want the logo to be. So if we wanted a blue, I want to change it to a blue, and then go to the blending mode and change it to a hue. And then also we can change like the opacity, but I wouldn't recommend that. And you can also turn off the bottom layer. That bottom layer is there for more effects. So now we can turn back on our bottom layer, and we're going to go to our blending options, and we're going to put in a bevel and gloss on it, and we're going to go to the depth and make the depth 240, and the direction up, and the size is going to be 8, the soften is going to be 0, and the angle is going to be -90, and the altitude is going to be 32. Make sure you turn off global light, that's pretty important, and also change the highlight mode down to like this blue, and we're going to change the opacity down to 55, the highlight mode to normal, and we're also going to change the shadow mode to normal. Black is going to be our color, and we're also going to change the opacity down to 32. Now guys, we're having this thing here, which I do not like, and that we're going to find what effect that is being made on. So I think it's going to be on this one. So just make sure that your drop shadow is 90 on your I should really name these, so I'm just gonna name this, just rename it like I'm doing so it's easier for me to say the tutorial. So I'm gonna name this shape 1. You also rename this shape 2, and I'm also gonna name this logo 1. logo 1, and I'm also going to name this logo 2. Or logo 1 also. Logo 2, and I'm also going to name this by double clicking on the layer rec 1, and I'm also going to name this one rec 2. So that is that, and we're also going to go down to our bottom layer, like I said before, go to the blending options, go to our bevel emboss, and continue applying these effects like we were doing before. So we're going to continue with this. So sorry guys for the lot of cutting. So we're going to change this to emboss mode, and we're also going to change the technique to smooth. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to add a outer glow. So we're going to go to our outer glow, and we're going to apply these settings. So we're going to make a blue on the color, and we're going to make it to blending mode screen. The opacity is going to be 21, and the size is 24, and the range is going to be 50, and the jitter is going to be 0. Now guys, it always depends with these tutorials, whatever you like with the shadows, especially if you don't like that shadow, you can always change the shadow settings. That's really important to notice, guys, that it's not up to me to dictate you on how you make it. Really guys, it's all up to you. So yeah, so now we're gonna go press OK, and we're going to go to the blending options on the top logo. So we're going to go to the blending options here, and we're going to make a drop shadow on this. We're going to make the opacity 90, and we're going to make the distance 5, and we're going to make the size 21. We're also going to make this blending mode to overlay, and we're also going to change the color to a bluish like that. Now we're going to press anti-aliasing on that, and that is that for the top layer. So guys, we have applied the main effects for this logo, so hopefully that wasn't too difficult to follow. I really do apologize, it is really hard to commentate over this type of tutorials, and I actually haven't recorded a tutorial in a long time also. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to make this box have some little depth. Like you see all icons, they look 3D. Really, this does not look 3D, let's break it to the honest. So what we are going to do is we're going to go to our rec 2, we're going to control click the thumbnail of that, and we're going to make a new layer above rec 1. We're going to grab our brush tool by pressing B on our keyboard, make the size 100, the hardness 0, and press the first brush face. And we're also just going to drag down, but making sure that our color is going to be white. Now I think it's rec 1 that... No, it's rec 2, yeah, so control click rec 2, and then you're going to hold shift while you paint up. So you're going to do that, and you're going to do this, like that. Make sure you have it like all the way you like it, like that. So we're going to have two lines like this. Now we're going to drag this layer down between these two, rec 1, rec 2. And we are going to apply some effects, what the tutorial didn't do, but I found out worked better. So we're going to go to the filter, and then we're going to go to blur, Gaussian blur, and make the radii, whatever really works, what you like. But I think 77 looks alright, and then we're going to change the opacity, like this. And we want to make it shine, but it's actually really hard to make it shine. I guess you could try and like place a metal texture over that, but that doesn't really work, so that looks alright for now. And we can try to erase this by going to our eraser, change the mode to brush, make the size 50, make the hardness like that, press OK, and then grow to our rec 1. Now we don't want to rasterlize this, so we're going to press Ctrl J, Control Shift R, press OK, and press OK on that. And that's going to be our backup, so the shape's going to be a backup, just in case if we do need it. And we are just going to like bring out the edges on this. And we're going to see if this makes it 3D, if not, it's all good. It's just an experiment. Yeah, it's alright, it helps the fading, I guess. I guess you could try and do it on the middle part, but on the edges, don't try it. So what we are going to do is we're going to keep this layer rasterized like we did before, and continue with our plan. and we're going to just go on the middle part, and we're going to hold shift with our razor tool, and we're just going to raise this part. Like that. And we have like kind of made a 3D. If you don't want it, you can just keep it the same and just do it like that. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to add in those lines. Now it adds a really cool trick, what you probably didn't know in Photoshop before, but it's really cool. So we're going to go to our shape 2, and we're going to press T on our keyboard. Now you want these settings for your character, so you want the size to be 30, this to be 44, this to be 500 actually, this needs to be 500, and yes, like everything like that. And what you need is you are going to need a character that looks like what I use in the titles of my videos. So I'll just bring up something here. So here you see on the title of my video, it has like a line like this. You want to just select this line and press Ctrl C, and then you can use that. It's on your keyboard. You guys know what I'm talking about, so just find it on your keyboard, hold shift. It's the one over the dash, and you can just do that. So once you've got that character sorted, you're going to hover your mouse over the line until you see your typing tool with a little curvy line like that. We're going to click on there. I'm going to press Ctrl T, and we're just going to paste these lines all over the circle. Like this. Bam, like that. Now we have this gap in the middle, so we're going to press Ctrl T, and we're going to rotate this till that gap is in the middle and it looks symmetrical. Now the next thing that we are going to do with this type is we're going to move it in between shape 1 and shape 2. There, we've got it in the middle, and that is how we do our lines, but obviously we are going to want to add some color effects to them. So to do this, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the blending options of these, and you're going to go and add an inner shadow. The inner shadow is going to have these settings, so it's going to be on a blending mode normal, it's going to be on white, and then it's going to have an opacity of 17, a distance of 133, and a size of 3. I'm going to press OK on that, and we're also going to go to our drop shadow, and we're going to make the size 40, and we're going to make the distance 1 and the size 3. And we're also going to press OK on that. Now guys, we're going to go to the fill of these letters, or you could say lines, and we're going to change the fill to like something like this, so it makes it look a bit more elegant. Now as these guys can see, these aren't going out to the full edges, so you can drag these out and try your best with them, and we're going to do like that. So if you see the lines going to pass where you want it, what you can do is you can Control Shift, Control click on the thumbnail of shape 1, and then press Control Shift I, and then make sure that your text layer is selected, right click on your text layer and do rasterlize type, press delete, and then bam, you have deleted out of there, and it's all inside the circle. So those are some pro tips from myself that wasn't specified in the tutorial, the original tutorial. I do hope that you enjoy this tutorial, and make sure you go check out the file done by the original tutorial. He did add some effects that wasn't done in the tutorial that he made that I used, but this is how you make the basic look of the things. I hope that you do enjoy this, and if you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I know it was a long tutorial, I'm sorry for that, there was no way I could have made it quicker, and thank you for watching. See you guys, hope you enjoyed.